Hi friends, welcome back to Story Time. Today's book is Grumpy Badger's Christmas. Oh, look at how grumpy he looks. I wonder what could be wrong. Let's find out. Grumpy Badger's Christmas. It was almost Christmas, and the forest was a flurry of activity. The animals were bustling here and there, putting up Christmas trees, wrapping presents, making tasty cakes and cookies, while the young ones scampered about, squeaking with excitement. Everybody was looking forward to Christmas. Well, almost everybody. Grumpy Badger looked out of his window and scowled. "Merry Christmas!" shouted Squirrel. "Merry Christmas? Bah!" he shouted back. "What piffle! I am a sensible creature, and I sleep all through the cold winter. Now I'm going to bed until the spring, and if anyone wakes me, I shall be very, very grumpy." And with that, he pulled his window shut with a clunk. Grumpy Badger knew he would be pretty hungry when he woke, so he checked his pantry. There were pies and pastries, hams and cheeses, crispy crackers, jars of fruit, and sticky sweet jams. "That should do," he said. Then he filled his hot water bottle and climbed into bed. He had just closed his eyes when there was a knock at the door. Knock, knock, knock. It was Mole. "Merry Christmas, Mr. Badger," he said timidly. "I'm sorry to bother you. I've been trying to put lights on the Christmas tree, but it's just too big. Could I please borrow your ladder?" "Christmas tree?" sputtered Grumpy Badger. "Piffle and double piffle. Christmas is for sleeping, and that's what I'm trying to do." And then he closed the door with a bang. "Bah!" huffed Grumpy Badger, climbing into bed. "Borrow my ladder indeed. All I want is a bit of peace and quiet. So leave me alone." He peeked under his bed, where he'd put more food for springtime, candies and cornbread and cherry cupcakes. Then he cuddled deep into his warm comforter. He was just starting to snore when there was another knock at the door. Knock, knock, knock. This time it was Squirrel. "Hello, Badger," he said cheerily. "I brought you a present." "Christmas present?" snorted Grumpy Badger. "Piffle and triple piffle. I don't like presents and I don't like Christmas. All I want is a little peace." And he shut the door with a crash. Now, Grumpy Badger was really grumpy. To cheer himself up, he thought about bottles and bottles of homemade lemonade that he had in the cellar. Then he lay down and closed his eyes, but he couldn't sleep. His head felt a little chilly. Suddenly, there was a loud banging at the door. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, what now? Grumpy Badger sighed. He was about as tired as a grumpy, he was about as tired and grumpy as a badger can be. Oh, Badger, panted Rabbit, help! It's poor Mole, and he's stuck at the top of the Christmas tree. Come quickly. Piffle, shouted the Grumpy Badger, and triple piffle on top of that. Why can't everyone just leave me alone? And he slammed the door so hard that the whole house shook. At long last, Grumpy Badger fell asleep. But soon he was tossing and turning, wiggling and squirming. He was dreaming of Mole dangling, see him, at the top of an enormous Christmas tree, and Mole was trembling. Mole was about to fall. No, screamed Grumpy Badger, sitting bolt upright and suddenly wide awake. What have I done? He jumped out of bed, grabbed his ladder, and dashed into the street. Grumpy Badger raced to the top of the Christmas tree. Hold on, Mole, he cried. He scrambled up the ladder, scooped Mole gently into his arms, then helped him down to the ground. I'm so sorry I left you hanging, mumbled Grumpy Badger. I suppose I've been a bit of a grump. That's okay, said Squirrel, and he gave Badger back his Christmas present. And it was a soft, fluffy nightcap. I've been so grouchy, said Grumpy Badger. What can I do to make things better? And then he knew. Badger's Christmas party was the best ever. There were pies and pastries and cheeses and hams, sticky sweet jams, cookies and cupcakes, and bottles of homemade lemonade. They jiggled and jived and joked and laughed late into the night. Merry Christmas, everybody, Badger cried. And if you don't all come to my party next year, I shall be very grumpy indeed. The end. I hope you liked that story. And there were a lot of words that started with the letter C. Maybe you can think about what some of them were. I think the one that caught me by surprise was comforter. Do you know what a comforter is? It's a special kind of blanket that goes on a bed. They're usually thick and cozy. That's a comforter. And that's what Badger curled up with. Don't forget to look around your house. Go on a sea hunt. See what you can find. Have a great night, friends. Talk to you soon.